Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745 here with my continuing playthrough of Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice 8.6. Very access. Let's get Asian here. Britain. Really sea lion, but sort of sea. Basic goal. Successfully. Oh, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. They tell me to say that in YouTube school, so that grow the channel. And also, if you want, you can put by the subscription, there's a little bell sound. You can click on that. That will notify you that there's a new video up. I think, I haven't checked that specifically, I think you can do that for just, excuse me, a specific series, opposed to just any video. Meaning if you only want to watch, of course you don't really only want to watch this series, but if you sort of think you do, just only Hearts of Iron. That's good. Try some. Only watch one series. You up. Like. Hey, it's all good. The SS is yet to achieve their goal of securing a port to more SS units. Come on, guys. There we go. Ready for and nav pilot training advanced. Good. So that means stopping air attack pilot. That'll help him. And we've lost the province. And in the SD, they'll be nice, kind of gentle. Sure. Not. Rapid. Advanced. Balance. So. Nordland up there. Totenkopf up there. How's that? And of course we really important for that. So that now. Rotterdam. Fox. Portsmouth. Units to both lands. off and switch. This. Not exactly sure. Old, but you have this sort of, if you will, double situation. I'm going to try to surround London instead of attack it direct. How many units you can get there versus when you fly through there. We're doing air supply, which helps. Indian Army recruitment helps out there. That's way. Got one. And sometimes the Indian units are actually fairly decent. I mean, they're just fairly light little things, of course, but last one, authorization. Oh well, see now look at this. They're giving us a division with some Gurkha infantry. That's actually a very good unit. So let's find a good. Oh, this guy looks. No, he's bubble. That. There we go. Good. Okay, well, we're gonna go off to a port here. Very useful. Place like Australia. Really good. Let's light arm. Let's tried another get some trucks. Not from Tibet, don't know why their truck qualities are, but I don't know. License that to hopefully direction. Also building up after we get done with that, but I don't want to down the structure. A significant more German Kriegsmarine. Trying to do it. I would prefer it because if we get rid of these two, we'll be having Tibet, I do believe, moving firmly in our path because we will be dominant local power. Wouldn't feel threatened by other options in order. So I'm trying again. Don't know that I'm going to keep it up, but we'll see. But we are also, and oh, they've arrived. Good. These guys, let's just. They're going to be the border watch if we don't take Paul and or Bhutan down. Okay. We're pushing back pretty hard while some of the lighter units. That's why. Over. Stuff. Now that that we have both. Both ports. Better. First. But it should be packing, moving. I think for a while. Dustin's where to be on. Okay. Somebody. We'll call it one. Hatchet. This would. We're gonna put parts in it. I think this is 4. And this with its rockets, all gun, a bit slower as that truck transport. That would be good for. Okay, Terrier Terrier Task Force. So now have that. Now have the concept down of a carrier task. Different than like a battleship task. Let's head to do carrier deck armor. Are we? again, as you can see, I am going to keep feeding in. Start looking. Let's do good as first here. Go. Jungle unit training. That's I think. Forget. We're gonna stop. Absolutely. One more. Let's do. Okay, so we've already met radar. Maxed out. So switch. Little bit. No, actually, we are parodies. What? Fighting. Little dangerous is or a little make less optimum. Headquarters. Oh, okay, so we're basically stuck. What about we need to get stuck? It'd be better to keep her almost sitting sort of in a central. Let's sort of hope that they've run out of. And we now have and no, they're all out of there. Okay. Now, why do we have Panzer Commander in the jungle? That's a good question. And my answer is because it's there, it's convenient, and we're looking at eventually attaching a bit more once we get a bit more shipped over here, Panzer units for Australia. But it's here now, so mind you are out of command range are at the moment here. Okay, no, they're not. play with you. Now transports a little bit risky. Look at divisions leaving a tropical island garrison there to protect. Yes. All right. Yep. You're going to attack. Ports are looking. No. There's Iraq, our friends. Oil. Okay. Oh, yeah. Got that. Done that. Why it's over here and not sitting in the west. Good battalion. Just I used them. You for a while was attacking on its own. Use them harsh. Need to be supported. If I pulled them out of line, obviously that would have been good solution or whatever, but they were better supported. These guys, I sort of added a lot of support elements. Battle on their own much better. Okay. Many. How's this battle going? Grinding at people. And probably more ways than one that's grinding. Partially that experience skill level. Probably getting the mountain warfare type traits. Okay, fine. Look at that. Huh. Really interesting playing this game and jumping over to playing Hearts of Iron 4. Different forms that I play it. there's like the richness of particularly this game here is just incredible compared to the other, all the, and the events. Some people may not think they're important, and to them they may not be all that interesting to them. But it's also the richness of unit types, you know, unit names and all that stuff that is just completely lacking in 4. You know, they say, oh, well, you can go in and name, yeah, well, and they've talked about having sort of better auto naming, but even getting away from auto naming, it's, you know, and yes, you could sort of auto name, you know, 12th SS Panzer Division Hitlerjugend, you know, or give Hitlerjugend, but to have with their division planner kind of thing, which is really cool. But a few modders and a few people like this, that they can go in, oh, well, I'm going to take these 2 brigades, sort of like what I've done with some of these little conf group things. I'm going to take these little brigades and detach and attach them to something else. Yeah, that is cool. I don't really miss that with 4. What I miss with 4 is having, without flooding the template file, having a lot of unique divisions, plus having sort of the unique subdivision names, you know, here for the elements of it, not just unique in the sense of unit types, but all of this. And so, yeah, and now some, as we are seeing, and I think anybody who's really paying attention realizes now that with Hearts of Iron 4, they are looking at adding more and more detail over time. And no, I don't know to the extent of what they can or will add, but they're definitely looking at that. So that, you know, so that's something where this is doing much better. Drop if you need them. So the detail is lacking, but then, you know, I'm looking here and going, oh yeah, these are now all red, so, you know, produce them, don't produce them. But with 4, the shipyards will be producing ships, and that's cool. And shipyards won't be producing infrastructure. And now, of course, they're just general military factories. I would have done. And there's, you know, an engine is an engine to a point. You know, aircraft engine versus tank engine, and actually something like the Panther tank, because it's a super lightweight engine built into it. Tank light has a lot of similarities with aircraft engines, and if you look at some of the early American tanks, all the models, but like the Stuart light tanks, they used a basically an aircraft type engine, not exactly the same, but it's a rotary engine, like you find in the Focke-Wulf 190 type, as opposed to an inline engine. The rotary engine is very similar to an aircraft engine, but it has high acceleration rates and that. So some of the elements of what makes aircraft is the same of what makes tanks. And unless you're going to have engine production for trucks, tanks, aircraft, and whatever else, and then have like artillery barrel production for artillery barrels, including tank barrels, and you're going to somehow mesh all that together into end products. And I'm sure, I'm not saying the Hearts of Iron 4 engine could do it if you got in their program, but I'm sure that is programmable at some level. But unless you're going to do that, you need to sort of look at, well, the sort of lightweight construction, sometimes wood, sometimes metal, sometimes by the time World War II comes around, I don't think anything is pure wood as in frame construction. They're just, and I don't mean pure as in no metal, but there's often some metal element to the frame, but some of it is predominantly wood, like the Mosquito. Is not a pure, but really getting there. I'm sure there's some metal brackets holding in the engine and whatever else that running around, but it's predominantly a wooden framed aircraft. And you get like the Hawker Hurricane, which is more, I think, mixed framed aircraft. So, but it's just, so if you look at it that way and go, okay, you're going to have aircraft engine production. Do you then, or, aircraft frame production, so that's the aircraft factories. And then for your other military type units, do you separate out things like small arms, artillery, and tanks, or you just go military production? I'd probably just go military production. So that would be the one more breakdown I would have is aircraft, and have civil factories be a sort of mixed use factories for civil goods needs, military, supply needs, and at least most of these other building type needs. And I really like that. And that is what really, in my opinion, puts Hearts of Iron 4 on the next level from Hearts of Iron 3. It's just, they keep saying, it's not here as in development yet. And well, I'm still a big supporter of Hearts of Iron 4, but if you happen to be noting, well, it's partially, well, it's both things as I'm sitting here thinking about it. I'm saying it's partially the reason I'm not playing more 4 is because frustration with the mods, which aren't here, is in long length and depth of development yet either. But also I'm not playing the vanilla, but neither am I playing vanilla Hearts of Iron 3. Getting into this a little bit, I started out playing, I'm sort of late to compare to some of the people, maybe some of you watching here. A few of you, I think, started out one. But I started out with Hearts of Iron 3 for the Motherland being already out. Their Finest Hour had not yet come out. I don't know if it had been announced yet, but it had not yet come out. That's when I started. And I started playing the basic game. I had played some other games like Baldur's Gate, of course. Watch this channel a bit. I'm also a big fan of that as well. And with that, as you also know, big fan of mods with that. But I wanted to sort of start out and get the basics of the game going. And it's sort of like Baldur's Gate. I recommend to everybody on that game to play the base game. Well, with their expansion, you don't have to, play the base game and then add an expansion and play. But if you were to go, I would recommend highly. I would recommend highly is to go, get all of the, released official versions and play them all the way through once, because it's a really good game. And then start either adding or doing the mega mods, because you'll sort of see what some mods add and don't compared to the basics. And yes, that means at least 2 playthroughs. But hey, if you're looking at good, enjoyable playthroughs, not just, I want to finish the game and then move on to a new game, you should want to be able to stick around. It's a game that has replayability, and especially if I'm here at the moment suggesting 2 major playthroughs. One is the vanilla basic sort of game, and then the other was a significantly modded game. If you've gotten through both of those and still want to tweak around with it, great. But that's, I don't know, especially with the modded game, as you can see, it can be a few thousand hours worth of play. And so, I'm there. Now, so I started out and wanted to play the basic game with Hearts of Iron 3. But what really sort of started pissing me off was in this realm, where they had militia weapons, the 4 type of thing. Infantry weapons. And motorized or mechanized infantry weapons. I'm going, after doing this a little bit. A rifle is a rifle is a rifle. A machine gun is a machine gun is a machine. Whether and the only difference between a militia version of it, maybe absolutely none, because maybe your militias are being equipped out of your new production just for various reasons. You've run out of old and out-of-date equipment, and you have enough production to equip militia-type units. and you know, because hey, if you're sort of manpower limited or whatever, you need militia to sort of guard the homeland, you know, sort of cheap garrison units or whatever, if you will. Or if they are different from frontline units, they're normally either old equipment, World War I or captured or whatever, or cheap-ass production, which would be a little bit different. But it was only sort of some emergency stuff at the end of World War II, really, for most nations to do cheap-ass production for the militia. So, because something like the Sten, which the Germans copied for their militia weapons, the cheap-ass submachine gun to make, Britain used it as a mainline normal submachine gun, their primary commando, for their best commando troops. So it's a cheap, easy, crude weapon to make. And sure, with the motorized type of units, yeah, they often got, say, assault guns, Sturmgewehrs, earlier than the other troops and with higher priorities. So I sort of but then I got to where I just hated that, and that's when I found the dig, das Era Datadamerung or whatever mod, which combined all those in one, and that, I mean, literally, that almost stopped me playing, because that and a few other of the tech things almost got me to stop playing Hearts of Iron until I found that DLC, and I go, great, and it was really cheap when so yeah, you know, $5 left. Sure, I'm buying it. No thought when I saw the screenshots and realized this. Now eventually I got into Black Ice, and now for a while, briefly, there's one version of Black Ice that was separating the back out, and I just told Panzeru, who's a really nice guy, and really, no, that is why I got away from having different ports. So they did do this, which is sort of after my sort of hissy fit of no, sort of going back to, that's what's wrong with them doing this, is they separated the difference from light infantry versus standard infantry versus special forces, and I can sort of agree with some of that. I wouldn't do it this way, because again, yeah, you have I've got a, what is it, the Gewehr 1133 or 3311, I think it's 1133, I forget. It's the it's a Czech made or Bruno made, say Czech made, whatever, Mauser rifle. The Czechs adopted the Mauser rifle as opposed to adopting the whatever the Austrian straight pull system. I'm blanking on what it is, but I'm blanking on it. They adopted the German basic Mauser Mannlicher, the Austrian Mannlicher straight pull. Instead of a rotating bolt, it just, you pull it straight back out. Sort of somewhat unique in major production line. I think it's the only major production bolt action weapon that's straight pull. The Austrians did. They rejected that when they got their independence. They adopted a Mauser design based on the Germans, and adopted the German caliber as well for its small arms. I don't think adopting the German caliber at the time was any sort of strategic, we want to be compatible with either our friends or our enemies, because remember, that was the Weimar Republic, whether they saw them at the time as a friend or an enemy, most likely. I just think they adopted it because sort of the plans were there and it was a really good caliber, so they just did it, you know. Why reinvent the wheel if the wheel's working well? And so they adopted the Mauser rifle. And so Germany, and which actually had one of those interwar Czech rifles, so the Germans took them over and had that factory switch over from the sort of the Czech version of the gun, cosmetic differences and whatever, to making the standard K98K, which is the Carbiner 98, which is based off of the Gewehr 98, and then the second K is Kurz for short, a shortened for that, doing that. But they also uniquely made some rifles for the German mountain troops, and it is a basically a K98K, but shortened even a bit more and lightened up in every way they could conceivably, to their minds, lighten the gun, including, you know, the little rounded knob on the bolt handle is hollowed out from the underside. It's not a quite full circle. It's you know, I'd say 3/4 of a round globe. But you know, take the time, and not just, you know, half circle. It's they had to somehow, you know, hollow it out, and it's really nicely polished up inside and around. Had to get in there and polish up the inside of that carve out as well as everything else. So they've lightened that gun up, super lightweight. So I got one, and it's for a Mauser rifle. And that one I have not yet, just have not had ammunition and the gun for it at the time out of a range to shoot it. I have shot Mauser 98Ks, the standard rifle, which is punishing enough. So I haven't shot my war-made, you know, under the German supervision, if you will. So yeah, that mountain rifle is lighter weight than the standard German infantry rifle. And they also made even smaller limited productions, a takedown version, you know, one that sort of breaks in half. But that was more, I think, for the paratroopers. But I think some of the mountain troops also got it too. And so, other than that, almost literally, other than that, the two, one a takedown version that I think for mountain or for paratroopers, but I think the mountain troops got some of them too. And other than this lightweight Mauser rifle, the mountain troops for small arms no different from standard German infantry weapons. And I do believe from the size of the German mountain units, and a lot of them, like the SS, various mountain units that we see here and using here, they did not use the lightweight carbine versions, and especially the SS units that were operating down here, because there just weren't enough of them. There weren't that many of them made. I think, I'm going to guess here, I know I've looked at the number once, but I'm just guessing here, 5,000 of them, which is pretty small, limited production. And there were more than 5,000 German mountain troops between operating up here, between operating down here, between, just German troops as opposed to foreign units of mountain types operating in various theaters. So it was sort of a limited special weapon. So even most of the German mountain troops use the standard sort of production weapon. This also, like for the MG 34 and 42s, those are the same guns. So having weapons technology for some of these to do this, and commandos, what you have the like the British Wellman super silent pistol, and then you have the other super silent on the Well Rod, what it is, and then you have the other flanking on it. I can get up the silent the one really true silenced gun, rifle, whatever, is a blanking on the name here, but is basically they've taken an Enfield rifle and converted it to 9mm and putting silencer on it, and it's a bolt action. And because of the way they've done it, and if you load in sort of subsonic ammunition so it doesn't break the sound barrier, but whether they did that, the loudest thing you hear on it when you pull the trigger is the firing pin striking the bullet. It's supposedly that silent, really, where most aren't that silent. And so yeah, which was a British commando weapon for taking out sentries. But that's a very rare weapon, and also very rare even within the British commandos, in that just a few guys take out sentries, because once the shooting started, it really sucks, because it's a bolt-action rifle with something, I don't know, like 5 rounds of 9mm ammunition, or I don't think more than 10 rounds, but it's small capacity, and it's bolt-action. You want a submachine gun. You want, you want something, in a commando raid to really put down volumes of fire rapidly and quickly, compact package. So you only need a few of these other weapons. So those are incredibly few and rare, and that kind of thing. So that almost, that would have, if I threw a hissy fit. Nice, a pleasant one, I think, but no, just don't do that. So this was sort of, because they were getting away from, can't see it, from these upgrading, and I think to a point it's because of just what we're seeing here, and why some of the stuff only show up here and not show up on the screen, is the super long list of infantry units or whatever that a particular technology affected, and so confusing players and whatever. So that was sort of why I moved away from it. So, but that's even with Hearts of Iron, 3 fully developed as Paradox did. I would be hard pressed to play that today. So if you think, well, why aren't you playing, if Hearts of Iron 4 is so good, why aren't you just playing it regularly? Well, I wouldn't really be playing Hearts of Iron 3 regularly. So that's why I play the mods, because just what Paradox does not meet needs. And that's an important thing, meeting a player's needs. So, yes, I really think 4 will get there, or will be something. It was very good at the battle. So let's continue. That's sort of the story of the text, and why I almost quit Hearts of Iron 3 early on. Oh damn. Hauser shattered. Fate of letting that. They were on the death. Winkleman, okay, well, he good and not much. Okay, won the battle loop. Well, almost got one. Oh. Treasure. Out of there. Start card. And then just pin them. Well. Clear up that flanking. Well, you're not in danger shot, are you? Station. They're gone. That is not. Intercept. Got this. Got two of them. Garrison. Oh, I'm using it down here. I thought I lost it, but they're pushing on us hard. I think they're. New. And then that. Arms head. Operation. We're gonna continue. Good, thanks. Combat. Click. Awesome. Garrison. Don't want to attack London or other places. Artillery. Useful, but a bit of a pain. Useful, sensitive. Yeah. Okay. They're shattering themselves. The monthly outbreak. Okay, yes, we're going to rebuild this. Great. You know, some of these events happen recent crash game, but like I said, after that crash happened, start dates late 47. So I don't think we'll. Okay. And I will say this only once. Strike today after we do damage to the capture. So this. Oh, probably one. Yeah, but we have here. Herr Flick and Gruber. Gruber's commanding, which is smart, is fighting Louise of the Communist Resistance. Have von Strom here battling Michelle of the Resistance. Her name is Michelle of the Resistance. We have Klinkerhoffen fighting Rene Atois. The Nouvion Resistance. You know. Oh, shit. Oh, shit. Did you notice this? This, I think, just happened now as a follow-up counter invasion. Normandy invasion, and I mean a scripted one because they've already taken the territory and they haven't won the battle. Ho 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 ho. I wonder if the delayed, because those are going away, but those are just. I wonder if the delay here. They would have had the battle on shore, and they would, this unit wouldn't be a organization tote unit. I think we're just going to hold out. Here you hold out there. Oh, we shift down. Well, this is interesting. So the real problem here for them is supply. Oh, I did not notice that until. Okay, well. Bunch, especially there's that switch would have been unless, but except that I shifted them over here first for this invasion and then for my sea line. Ho 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 ho. Now this does change things. I don't think it means in any way we're going to lose the Battle of Britain here, land invasion of Britain, or our this Battle of France. Well, let's not leave. The flanks and contain them, but that's going to be interesting. Or it looks like 24 armored divisions. Some of the stuff is British, though. One militia, of course, is troops. Building defenses. Happen. You and myself do. Drop the garrison. Shift them out somewhere else. These units were made to like garrison Norway. Oh, not Norway. Iceland and Greenland. Places from like an American counter invasion. Bold and as aggressive. Brazilians want to move across. And they'll be near enough to a port once we get all this stuff. You know. Where's my... Okay, wow, that's interesting. Oh, ho, 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 oh. Oh, this, I'm guessing, is part of that. This Allied Naval Expeditionary Unit got dropped as a command function. That? Then move it back up. Lost the battle like I thought we would. And we will get Archie Bunker, one of my friends and viewers. Wanted to see, well, let them sort of get consolidated and then try to fight them off. Want to see, not best strategy advice. Now they has local fuel, local supply, so that has a lot of supplies. Where this has, oh no, yeah, no, oh, yeah, so it has a super amount of supplies. So it will eventually run out of supplies, but not right away. It's not there, and that is sort of, or in part of the script. Okay, I went and looked at some of the script after the last invasion just to sort of. Okay, twin engine Bombay. Yeah. Okay, an order placed from Finland. Yeah. Okay, 23rd Waffen Division der SS Karma Operation number 2. Croat number. Adolf Hitler gave approval for raising of a second Croatian Waffen SS Division, June 1944. The first one, of course, is Handschar, which is very famous. The fledgling division was given the honorary title Karma, a short Turkish sword, and the divisional number 3. Full title Karma. Okay, so we're gonna do this. Yay. Firing. Covered that. The crash on. No. Airbase. Need. Rare Abteilung can be refitted with. We're gonna go no. Not that I've talked about some more from a real world standpoint, but right now I'm thinking, not sure, but I'm thinking, yeah, check out now. It did upgrade one of those. Of course, there is a organization. Send them down this way. Go. Something I probably would have done. Thank for myself, but here probably still fighting. But, well, that will help contain. Okay, we've defeated a Trois, and he's escaped into the. They're not Nouvion garrison against those. Okay, well. Elders. Fort. And But I'm, you know, that mod you may, but which I may be, but I'm still proud of it because it was basically my sort of first significant mod that I released. So getting all the, you know, I'm still, I guess, the Italian one up, but getting all of the different pictures for the unit types, communist, all that stuff. Just making all those special units. Achievement for me. Airplane better. The speed enhancement will offset the possibilities of just a teeny bit more, but let's start on. Well, and stop moving. I think I said this before. My first idea was to build Hogan's Heroes mod. And what stopped me at the time was no prisoners of war shall be discussed with any mod that's anywhere. So okay, I don't know if I were to make it today. Talking. Base stat 90% chance of getting what we'd like to have done. So recruitment time. Right. We don't. I probably just stay and just forcing back the 16th air division. They're sure pouring it on to try to save London. Taken. Still got some more units here. Just wanted to capture ports. There. Well, Done. Good little Gruber with help. And a Gruber with. Hoping. This both to fully surround London, but back. Okay, so we are now questing for a port. Sort of why I wanted to both attack and not attack them. I wanted to keep these guys entrenched as much as possible. Station. I knew the cavalry would. Pretty big cavalry. Okay. And I think it's time to end the episode here on this new development of an invasion down in Brittany. So, if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. And of course, thanks for watching. Thanks for liking the videos. And of really big importance is post questions, comments, ideas, suggestions. Just love hearing from you. See you next time for more Hearts of Iron.